influenced you
I
on?
went to NYU Film School, so I did have that formal training, but you can be a student of it without going to a traditional school. So I think as long as you're committed to it and you study it, you're going to be well off. But you really have to commit to studying it. And some of the best classes at film school were the film history classes, more than production. And that's stuff you can do at home. That's stuff you can just get a list of films and watch and figure out what people think about them, or watch them with friends and have conversations about them.
Megan, couldn't help noticing you're into Cash, huh?
Hey.
Cash loves school spirit. Mascots. All my high school research suggests that they're awkward loners.
Are there any qualities that you actually specifically look for when you're hiring your creative team?
I look for people who are smarter than me. I look for people who are open-minded. And I look for people who want to collaborate.
Who are you? I'm going to hold the mascot ranch. It's tradition.
What's going on? 85,000 views.
I'm viral?
Because it's not healthy for me to go in and say it has to be like this. I can set rules and parameters for it, but ultimately you want someone that's going to be the master of their respective craft, that's going to come in and elevate what even you can envision and surprise you with new things. So I was looking for people with that collaborative spirit, that open mind, and people looking to do something different rather than the same thing they just did.
Agent 83.
How did you find me?
YouTube.
What advice do you have for any young aspiring directors then?
My advice for young aspiring directors would be to watch a lot of films. When you reach creative blocks, watch even more films. Study some art. I was a minor in art history and classics, so I would read a lot, watch a lot of films, and then just surround yourself with people that are making films, or people that inspire you. That's, I think, is the key. So even if you're not doing your desired job on a set, just be on a set. Get any job on a set. And I think that type of energy pushes you forward.
Why is she crying? Maybe she watched The Notebook one too many times. Adolescence is a very volatile time for a young woman. He so gets me.
Said that when I was around 6 years old, I told her I was going to be a film director.
I always knew I wanted to do something creative for a living. I was a chronic doodler from second grade on.
I'm from a culture and a place where film directors don't come from, and people didn't own video cameras when I was a kid, let alone like become film directors. But there was a conscious decision at 17 years old when I went to university and realized that I wasn't in the place I needed to be, that I had to find something that I would do for the rest of my life and something I could pour all my passion into, and I was not good at 9-to-5 jobs, so I had to figure something out quick.
And I just didn't know whether you could make a living out of it. Well, let me tell everybody watching, if you can be creative for your living, drop everything else and run for it. There's nothing more satisfying than creating and getting paid for it. Keep doodling, keep drawing, keep singing, keep writing. That is going to provide you with the kind of life and living that you're never going to regret.
What did you do to my car?
It should hover much better now. I am prepared to accept one of your traditional gestures of human gratitude.
Our tradition is to punch you in the nose. Hold still.
Your gratitude is implied.
Are there any other personal qualities or characteristics that you think teens need if they want to succeed in this industry?
I think they have to work hard at it. It's not going to be handed to you. You should study the stuff that you like and figure out why you like it. You should study the stuff that you don't like and figure out what they did wrong, and then go one step further and figure out what you would do to fix it. It would be great if we could get it so that you were looking up, coming down, and always moving.
You really got to find your voice, find things you care about, but then run it through a litmus test of, is this just something you want to see because it happened to you and you're interested in, or is it something you think an audience would want to see? It's a very hard question to answer, but if you really put it through a filter of, like, if I didn't know this idea was mine and I've heard it or saw a preview for it, would I say, like, I got to see that movie?
And learning how and what to say to people, like, because I don't want to just tell people, here's what I want you to do exactly. Move the hand here, and on frame 17, have it there. If I can instead engage them creatively, then suddenly the brain power has been magnified. You get more ideas.
All right, you remember this one? We did this as part of the table.
I do remember it, yeah.
So,
Okay,
take
great.
it away.
Joy. Yes, Joy. You'll be in charge of the console, keeping Riley happy all day long. And may I add, I love your dress. It's adorable. Oh, this whole thing. Thank you so much. I love the way it twirls.
What advice do you have for any young aspiring directors?
Finish something. Write something, direct something, finish it, show it, exhibit it, And the challenge with being a director as opposed to, say, being a painter or a writer, even though I've done both of those things too, is that you can do those by yourself. As a director, you have to face the fear of the unknown and test yourself kind of in public with a bunch of other people in order to achieve it.
There's times where the insecurity just overwhelms and you wonder, how am I going to make the right decision? And the bad choice is to retreat and get quiet about it. The good choice is to turn around and go, guys, what's the best way to do this?
It may work, you may fail, and you have to do something after that and keep working. A lot of people never finish anything because they're afraid of failure or success.
I think especially hard, though, for young people who feel very vulnerable. Do I show this drawing to somebody and ask for advice? Do I show what I wrote? Absolutely show it.
At some point, it becomes almost less about talent and more about tenacity. You need to have the strength to just keep going and showing up even when it's really hard and you want to quit. You just show up and try again.
What you saw is a place where the best and the brightest people of the world came together to actually change it. We've been looking for someone like you for a very long time.
Make films. I mean, it's so much easier now in terms of equipment than it was when I was a kid.
When I was starting out, in the 80s and the 90s, it was film, 16 millimeter, 8 millimeter film. You can't even get your hands on 35 until you made professional. But now you have so much with, with digital.
Everybody has a cell phone which can shoot very high resolution in their pocket. And there are very cheap editing programs. Make films. Just go out and make them.
I think 95% or more of the job is storytelling. So any sort of study of story structure and, writing and character, relationship stuff, that's the meat of it.
School was great, all right?
What was that? I thought you said we were going to act casual.
Riley, is everything okay?
Sir, she just rolled her eyes at us. All right, make a show of force. I don't want to have to put the foot down.
No, not the foot.
Constantly shoot, constantly make movies, constantly do shorts, constantly shoot anything that you can. It will polish you and get you ready.
It's like you'd never give a kid a guitar and say, all right, you go on tonight at 8 o'clock, there's going to be a 2-hour concert, right? It doesn't happen. You have to practice. Filmmaking is the same way.
It's just like anything else. Like, if you're really passionate about it and you're honest with yourself and you make the decision, like, this is what I'm going to do, then you do it. That's the only way you can live your life. You can't lie to yourself about this stuff. So, you can, but you're not going to end up anywhere with it. So, I was very honest with myself that that's what I wanted to do. And I just kind of stuck with it and tried to figure the rest of it out as I went.